Hey guys, so this video is going to be about adding a jet pump wedge to a Kawasaki STX 1100. This particular jet ski we're talking about will range from the 1997 to the 1999 1100s. They also have some STS 900s, I believe, and STX 900s. But mainly what we're talking about here is the 1100, about adding a wedge and some of the misinformation there's been on the internet. Anyway, from doing a lot of research, there is a group chat room or a group called the K group or Group K, and they modify jet pumps, they build motors, they do a lot of stuff. So if you look it up online, I think it's called the K group. Anyway, adding a jet pump wedge. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because there are people on eBay claiming that you can take a jet pump wedge out of a 750 or 900 ZXI and put it onto an 1100, and it is not possible without modifications, and I wanted to show you. I also wanted to talk about the ZXIs. This is a ZXI rear section. This is off a ZXI 900. It would go right here, and as you can see, the cone on it is completely flat. On a jet pump that has reverse, for Kawasaki anyway, they usually have a lip here, and I'm going to show you that. So here is the 1100 here, and if you look right here, you'll see that little lip that sticks out right there, and the rest is flat here. So you can see it's got the reverse going down where the water points in the downward position, and it has this piece up here. So what happens is when you put it in reverse, let's see if I can put this one in reverse for you. Oh my goodness, is it frozen? Am I stuck? It could be cold and frozen. Hard to say here. Uh-oh. Let's see. Why isn't it? Interesting. I'll have to take a look and see why this one's not going in reverse. Anyway, well, I guess I don't get to show you guys because I can't get that. It might just be because it's too cold. As you can see, there's snow on the ground and it may be frozen. So in any case, that goes down and it blocks. And so the point of that top piece, having that top piece, is when you close it, that top piece goes up underneath the reverse, and it forces the water down for reverse and doesn't allow it to splash up. So what happens is on the 1100s, when you add a wedge, and this is a wedge, it causes the pump to move out, you know, 1/4 of an inch out, and then it hits that top lip, and you can't move it up to put it in forward or down to put it in reverse because it hits it. So my idea is going to be to trim that lip on the STX, on that ski on the back, trim it so that it clears it so it can still go up and down, but I don't need to cut it off, and that may work. So that's part of what this video is about. The other part is going to be about the wedges. Let's talk about the wedges. So here's a wedge off of the 900. As you can see, it's really skinny on this side, and on this side it's fat, and so you want the fat side down on the bottom and the skinny side up, so that the jet pump itself shoots up in the air more, and that brings the nose of the boat up and gives less drag on the front of the boat, which then in case makes the boat go faster top end. So that's the idea behind it. Group K says they've done a lot of testing, and they found that the jet ski would improve by 2 to 3 miles per hour by adding a wedge. So I want to add a wedge to that. But the problem is, they said when they added the wedge, they had no reverse. And like I said, that would be without modification. So my idea is going to be to add the wedge and then see if we can modify that rear piece to allow for the jet pump reverse bucket to still go up and down. So we're either going to trim that back part, that I was talking about, or we're going to do something with the reverse bucket. So that's one step. The second step was on eBay, people are claiming that you can take this wedge off of a ZXI and put it on an STX. That is not true. I want you to see the lip here, how small that lip is right here with my finger, and on this one, how big that lip is. So what I'm going to show you is that here's the XTX. This is off a 900, which is the same as the 750. You can see that it sits flush with the body right here, and it will come off and go on. That is true. It actually fits, but you will see that it does not line up with the lip here, and it needs some machining in order to make it fit. The other thing is, look at the size of the holes. Sorry. These are the little bolts. They're literally 10mm bolts that go into the intake here. Okay, and here they're huge. They slide right through. So the hole will be too small. So you cannot, right out of the box, buy one off of eBay and have it work, because it will cause issues. But you can make it work. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. Here is one. Originally, this one right here, it's the same exact one. I actually machined this one. So this is actually the original one off of the 900. This is actually the original one off of this one. And you'll see how much I've machined by the lip here. You can see that I've machined all that. I also drilled the holes in here bigger. So now it fits on this one. As you can see, it's nice and flush now. No more interference, and I drilled the holes bigger. So here's the original size plate. Here's the original one machined. And as you can see, there's just a lot of differences. Okay, now this one was one that I bought that was supposedly a racing one. And in their pictures, it showed that they did the machining on both sides. And then when I got it, it was flat on this side. And I called them, and they're like, oh, that was the last one. We're not machining these anymore. Whatever their excuse was, I got stuck with this one, which basically, skinny side on one side, big side. When you put it down, it'll fit here because of the bolts, and the jet pump will still work on this side. But then you end up with a big air gap between here and here, which then you have to basically fill this all with silicone, press it on, and then use your fingers and clean all the silicone, and I did not want to do that. So I was really disappointed. But what it did end up working out was when I bought this, I was able to literally, because it has a lip on it, stick it in onto this one, and it fit perfectly. And I was able to actually use this as a guide to draw my lines and give me one that works. And then drill these holes bigger. So now I have a wedge that I can put in my jet ski, and I'm happy about it. The second thing I'm happy about is because this one doesn't have the lip, it doesn't sit into the lip here and sit as smooth. So it actually is making it much wider because it's sitting on top of it. This thing is actually going to stick out further. It's going to make the jet pump even longer. Whether that's a good thing for racing or not, not real sure, but we're going to go ahead and keep this one for guidance and not use it. Okay, so the difference between the pumps. The GXI is a 140mm pump. 140. The STX is a 148, excuse me, 148mm pump, and this one's a 140. Again, most of this stuff is all interchangeable. I believe even the cone may be interchangeable. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to take it off right now to find out. But these bolt holes are in the same exact spot. This panel, this piece, will fit in this one and line up perfect, and this piece will fit in here and line up perfect. All you have to do is drill these 4 holes and machine this wider. So I wanted to share that with you guys, and I wanted to share with you about this deal. If you don't have reverse, they just do this. If it has reverse, they make this come out so the water doesn't splash up as much. It tends to hit the forward and reverse bucket. So I know that if I can remove the top part, I should be able to bring it down. How far down is what I need to figure out. Is it going to hit the bottom part? I don't think it's going to hit the bottom part because the bottom part doesn't stick out. It just goes under it. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. So I think all we'll have to do is take off about 1/4 of an inch of this top piece so that it'll go up and down and slide. And we'll figure that out as we go. Now, the parts, the stuff I use to machine it. First thing I want to do is you can take your pump completely out like I did, take your impeller out, turn it upside down, and with a pen maybe go around and mark all those if that's what you want to do. I am happy to machine these for you guys the way I did and sell you a wedge. You can either buy a wedge online and send it to me for machining, and I'll come up with a fair price, or you can just buy the extra one I have, because I'm going to machine both of these and I'm going to use one of them for me and the other one I'm going to sell. So then again, this now is for the 140 because it fits it perfectly. This is for a 148, and the new STX 15Fs and 12Fs have a even bigger jet pump, and they're completely different. This is for the bigger jet pump, the 154 millimeter. It's a wedge I picked up online. I wanted to compare the differences between the old pumps and the new ones, and so this is a pump wedge that I bought online, and I'll show you. Again, skinny part in the front, big part in the back, and as you can see when I line these bottom holes up here, lined up, it's close, actually, very close. Let's see if we can almost get, it's literally almost the same. Interesting. It actually almost lines up with the bolts again, the bolt holes. Bolt hole, bolt hole, bolt hole, bolt hole, but it doesn't fit inside the tab. It's actually even wider than the original tab. Okay, this one, it was just an extra one. I don't know if I'm going to sell it yet or save it just in case I get a newer jet ski one of these days. So at this point, if somebody wants to make me an offer on it, I'd probably sell it if it's a good deal for me. So anyway, I think I've babbled on enough about that. I wanted to show you guys what I used to machine it. So I bought these at Harbor Freight. They're actually for aluminum. You do not want to use a regular porting bit for porting heads and things like that. You have to buy one that uses for aluminum because they have a really big separation. The aluminum will not get stuck. And this is the bit that I use with this one right here. So what I will do here is I'll show you kind of, let's see if I can find my black marker. So here's my black marker. What I did was I took this one extra one I had here and I put it on top. So I'm going to go ahead and line up everything. I think we'll just use the small side there and the small side on this side. So actually I have to do this, my bad, sorry about this. This has to go inside of this like that. So it actually has to just turn over like that. So what I'm doing here is I'll use so they're skinny to skinny and big to big. I was thinking I was just going to turn them 180 off, just like that. So that way they're literally going to be sitting at the same spot. So it'll be pretty square. Then what I'm going to do is once it's sitting square like that and it's in, I'm just going to take a pin and just mark around it, and then I'm going to start porting. So I'll be back. Give me a minute. So I'll let you guys jump back in here and watch me again. Hopefully this is pointing in the right direction. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Alright, so I'm going to put my porting bit back on. I'm going to put the rudder back on. Like I said, I just don't want it to be able to create a restriction for water. I want to match port it as best I can. At the same time, I don't want to take off too much material. So that's why I was able to clean up really nice. And now I'm going to go ahead and go back through and take a little bit more off. it's good. First we'll start with this plate. See how it looks on here. Wow, it looks nice. It's like perfect. Ready. What you see when you look is the black marker on the other piece, but it's actually totally flat. See how flush it is? It looks beautiful. Like I said, you can slide these up and down a little bit. But if you center them, it sits flush. Alright, now the next thing I want to do is take this, put it in here. See how it's doing? Oh wow. Yeah, it looks nice. Super nice. Now what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and I want to sandblast it and clean it up a little bit. So, all right, I'll be back. All right, I'm 100% done. Sandblasted it. You can see when I line up the bolts absolutely perfect. It doesn't touch or hit anywhere. And ready to be installed. So we'll get to that next and continue on with this video.